fancy. I'm going to show you how to take an ordinary sweatshirt. This one happens to be a medium men's or medium adult. How to make this sweatshirt into a child's pair of pants. Sweatpants to be exact, because this is a sweatshirt. What you're going to need is a pattern. You're going to need a sweatshirt. You're going to need a cutting tool, scissors, a little elastic, and of course a sewing machine. First we're going to cut the pattern out, and we're going to be using the sleeves only to make this pair of pants. This is my pattern for my size 2, or approximately a size 2. I cut using my rotary tool. I cut up around the sleeve just before the seam. I don't want the seam on there, so I did not cut the seam. I cut that off. And after I cut it off, I remove this part altogether. I don't need it. Now I have the sleeve, actually both sleeves, since I cut both of them. Well, I didn't do them both at the same time. I cut them off individually because you want to be careful to make sure that you get a good cut. So after I cut off the sleeve, I then took my pattern, I laid it on, and I did it this way, obviously, because I don't want to. Alright, so this is the way I put it, and if you notice, I'm using the bottom, where the wrist is, the cuff, as the cuff of my pants. So there's no sewing. Once I get this, the top part sewed, the bottom part is done. No hemming, easy peasy. So, alright, I'm going to lay this on here, and this is not rocket science. This is a simple pattern. I took another pair of pants, I folded them so that they're folded in half, pulled out the crotch so it's nice and neat, laid this onto a piece of parchment paper. You can use newspaper, you can use any kind of paper you want to use. If you have some wrapping paper you want to use, just kind of cut out a pattern from a pair of pants that fit. Now this one happens to be approximately a size 2 or maybe an 18 months, and I laid it on and then cut, use my rotary cutter. I just cut up around here, and then I cut down across here, because this of course is kind of squared off. We don't want it so square, so we're going to take that off and that off. Now I did the same thing on the other side. I flipped it over on this side, cut the same way. Wow, that doesn't look the same. Not cool. Okay, I might have to watch that. Okay, so cut it again the same way. And when you're finished cutting, you're going to now take the two pieces and sew them together. You're going to take seam to seam, which here, like this, is going to be your crotch. And you want to match them up pretty close, because that is going to be the crotch. You want them to be good. So after you get them matched up, you're going to of course match right sides to right sides, as always when you're sewing a seam, and stitch up from the top. I started here at the top, stitch all the way down, and come back up to the other side. And once you get that together, you open it up and flatten it out. You're going to have a pair of pants. Now, of course, then you're going to have to do a small seam, just a small seam. I'm using like 1/2 inch elastic here. She's a little girl. So a 1/2 inch piece of elastic. All you need is enough of a seam to be able to catch it. And I would do something like a zigzag or something here, just to make sure you don't end up raveling, which generally doesn't with this type of material, but many washes it might ravel a little. So I would use a zigzag stitch. And of course a stretch, because this is a stretchy area. You want to be able to stretch this. Or just use a straight stretch stitch. That would work too. And then thread your elastic through, sew it off. I mean, I'll show you that part in another video, but that's the basics of making this pair of pants from the sleeves of a sweatshirt. So simple. I can't believe it. I came up with this idea. I really can't. But I'm going to share it with you. And here it is. Thank you.